broker's niche and one example of how to tie it all together. Let's go. All right, the little niche exercise. So, number one, we have demographics. That could be anything such as age, that could be sex, could be status. You could break that up into maybe between 25 to 45-year-olds for first home buyers, or you could break it up into sex of men, women, depending on who you're targeting. It could be status. Are you going for singles? Are you going for couples? Are you going for families? That's how you would chop up the demographics niche, part of niching. All right, next. Number two, geographics. This is really popular amongst mortgage brokers. You could do, for a couple of examples here, let's say Australia-wide. So if someone who's targeting investors all over Australia, Australia-wide is fine. Or you could go a little bit more specific. Let's say you could target a city like Sydney, or even go a little bit more local and say the northern beaches of Sydney. If there's, let's say, a half a dozen suburbs that you target, would be different for someone who's going for, instead of Sydney, they're going for the town of Toowoomba, for example. That's a little niche there. Number three, industry. Lots of brokers niche down with industry. You could have healthcare as an example, and then you could go all the way down with that. So you could go, let's say, surgeons on one end of the spectrum, and then you could go sort of, nurses or administration staff on the other end of the spectrum. Construction, law. There's a whole different teaching. There's a whole different array of chopping up industries. Now, another way that we can look at it. Number four could be your deal type. Okay, so maybe you're looking at first home buyers, or maybe you're looking at property investors, or maybe you're looking at people that are looking to refinance. Right, there's a way of chopping up your niche depending on the actual deal type itself. What else is there? Number five, it's the property type. Right, so you could be working particularly with residential homes, or you could be working with commercial real estate, or maybe you're an expert in rural Australia and farmland, right? There, you could chop up a niche depending on the actual type of property itself. All right, number six, borrower type. Right, so maybe you're talking to individuals. Maybe it's your first home buyer that's buying in their personal name. Maybe it's businesses. Maybe you write asset finance, or you write business loans, tax debts, things like that. Or number three, maybe you're doing SMSF. Right, maybe the clients are trusts or companies or something like that. Right, where they have structures. Okay, let's keep going with this. I'm saying it's a job type. Right, so really easy. Self-employed is a great example there, or you could be looking at maybe government workers, right? Or you could be looking at PAYG, full-time, part-time, casual, permanent. There's all different ways of chopping up the job types. Another way that you could niche down is by interest. Right, maybe there's a particular demographic that's got a particular interest. So what I mean by that could be maybe you're dealing with a lot of people that are in the automotive sector. Maybe you're dealing with a lot of people buying investment properties. They're keen on cars, and you're part of a car club. Another example of that could be sports. Right, you're in with local communities to some degree. They're into certain types of sports or fitness or something along those lines, or even culture. Culture is a massive one. So it could be that you're involved with your local church, or it could be that you're involved with your local culture, maybe the Indian culture, the Chinese culture, the Italian culture, whatever it is. There's a whole bunch that you can choose from, but that's a particular interest that you could niche down to as well. So let's keep rolling with this, and let's make a little example up. All right, let's make a little example up of chopping all these little bits and bobs up and see if we can pick a couple of these different parts of the niching to create a niche. So let's say we're going to go with first home buyers, right? So that's the deal type. So we want to work here with first home buyers. That's our target. Number one. So number two, where are they? They're individuals, right? Borrower type, they're individuals. We know that about them. Do they have a particular industry type? Not really. What are they interested in? Not really important. Are they self-employed, a government PAYG? Let's assume they're PAYG. Let's assume that they're starting out in life and they're PAYG. They're a little bit younger potentially. So we might go for age. Let's say they could be between the ages of 25 and 45 years old. What's the status? There could be, potentially a married young couple that we're trying to target as part of the thing. Geographics, where are they? Are they Australia-wide? Are they Sydney? Are they Northern Beaches? Are they in your local town, your local community? Or are they, do you live in Melbourne and these particular clients are in Perth? Probably not, right? We'd probably go a little bit down to our city level. So let's call it Sydney. We know we want resi real estate. Residential, so residential real estate, we've got it there. That's about it. So you can see that you can go away, you can pull a handful of items here to create pretty easy. You can pretty easily create a niche, a target market using the 8 or so different areas. And this is not an exhaustive list. Right? You could chop this up and you could have heaps of different ways to add to all of these to get your ideal niche. So this is a little bit of an exercise. I know this one has been a really long one. We're tapping on 7 minutes here. I hope you got a little bit of value out of it. Thank you.